Hi guys, this is Sadik from Dotbin.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to root your phone using the kernel SU Next and the SUSFS module. So please take a backup of all the data on your phone and then let's get started. First off, you will have to make sure that you are on an AOSP ROM because this kernel does not work on the stock MonUI, it only works on AOSP ROM and it works across both the Android 14 and Android 15 custom ROM. You could flash any of the ROM which you want. For example, in case of Android 14, these are the various ROMs as you could see over here. Likewise, you could flash the Android 15 based ROMs as well. A couple of ROMs are already there for our phone based on this OS as you could see. As of now, I'm using the latest CRDroid ROM based on Android 15. As you could see over here, it's the latest CRDroid ROM running the latest Android 15 build. And I'll be using this one to obtain root via the kernel SU Next and the SUSFS module. So with that in mind, once you flash the custom ROM, let's get started. In this regard, there are two kernels, the Lineage KSU and the Not kernel. As of now, I'm using the Not kernel because it beholds quite a lot of features as compared to the Lineage KSU, and moreover, it has already the SUSFS support. But the Lineage KSU kernel will add the support in the near future. Currently, it doesn't have that support. So if you just want to obtain root, you may use the Lineage KSU. But if you want the SUSFS as well, then please use the Not kernel. And as of now, I'll be using this only. So with that in mind, please take a backup of all the data on your phone. And then let's get started. First off, the steps for flashing both the kernels are the same. So that's not an issue. Get hold of the Android FZK platform tools from my guide and extract them onto your PC. You may extract them anywhere you want. In my case, I've done so in C drive. And these are the files of platform tools. Next up, you have to unlock the bootloader as well, but it's quite obvious since you are on a custom ROM, you have already done that. If you haven't done so, you may check out my guide and the video and unlock the bootloader as well using this video. Just boot the phone to the download mode and then long press the volume up key to enter the device unlock state. Then again press the volume up key to enter the unlock bootloader and then get the job done. Likewise, make sure to connect the phone to the Wi-Fi and then OEM unlocking should be enabled and grey out, which signifies that you have bypassed the vault keeper. So with this, you have unlocked the bootloader. After that, if you are using a custom ROM, then most of the custom ROM already have their own custom recovery. For example, I'm using a CRDroid ROM, so it has its own CRDroid recovery. So in that case, you don't have to flash any recovery whatsoever. But if your ROM does not have any custom recovery, then you have to flash the TWRP recovery onto your phone. I have made a video and a guide on the same as well. Just get hold of the recovery file and the VB-Meta patch file. Then boot your phone to the download mode and flash the file via Odin. Load the recovery file in the AP slot and the VB-Meta patch file in the data slot and flash them. Then boot the phone to the recovery and do a format data once. And the recovery will now be flashed. And your task can complete. You may check out my video as well to get this job done. I made a video on how to flash the recovery on any Samsung phones. So you may have a look at that as well. But for now, since I flashed a custom ROM, near about all the AOSP ROM, whether it's the Lineage OS, Evolution Next or CRDroid, have their own custom recovery. And that's the case with my ROM as well, so I'll be using the CRDroid recovery. Moving on, let's now boot the phone to the recovery. For that, you have to enable USB debugging. So go to the settings menu, then go to about phone, tap on build number 7 times, then go back, go to system, and should now see developer options. Go there, enable the toggle next to USB debugging. And now let's verify the same. So go to the address bar of platform tools, type in CMD, hit enter, or you may copy the path of platform tools and open CMD from here. Then type in cd space, paste the path of platform tools, and now you're inside the platform tools directory. So now type in adb reboot recovery, and your phone should now boot to the recovery. Whether it's the AOSP recovery or the TWRP recovery, the command is the same. In my case, it should boot to the CRDroid recovery in a few seconds. So let's wait for that to happen. And after that, we could flash the module as well and get the job done. So it will take a few more seconds for that to happen. So let's wait. And now what you have to do, if you have a TWRP recovery, okay, before that you will now have to transfer the file onto your phone. These are both the kernels. For now I'm using the Not kernel, which is this one, the second one. So transfer the kernel onto your phone. In my case, I already have the kernel, and once you've got the kernel, you have to flash the kernel as well. In case you are using a TWRP recovery, you may flash the kernel using the TWRP recovery by going to the install option. So go to install, choose the kernel zip file and flash it. But in case of AOSP recovery, there is no install option. So you have to take the help of ADB sideload. So go to apply update, apply from ADB, and your phone is now in the sideload mode. Now transfer the kernel file which is over here inside the platform tools directory. So paste it here and rename it to something shorter. So let's rename it to not, and the complete name becomes not.zip. And now you must do the side loading. So type in ADB devices to verify that your phone is in the side load mode, and you could see it's now in the side load mode. So now type in ADB side load, file name which is not.zip, and the flashing will now start, and the kernel is now being installed onto our phone, and this should take only around 1 to 2 minutes, as you could see. So if you are using the TW Hyper Recovery, you may use the install option or the ADB push command as well. But in case of AOSP recovery, you will have to use the ADB side load. There's no other way out. And as you could see, the kernel has been flashed onto our phone. Once that is done, just tap on reboot system now, and the phone will now boot to the OS. Once that happens, you will then have to install the kernel SU Next app to manage the kernel as well. So the first boot after flashing the kernel might take up some time. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. So with that said, let's wait for the phone to boot to the OS. And in the meantime, you may download the kernel SU Next app from here. So go to the GitHub page and expand the asset section and scroll all the way down, and over here you should see the kernel SU APK file. Let me show you. This is the file, APK file. Download this file, the APK file of kernel SU Next. And once you have got the file, you have to install the file onto your phone as well. So let's wait for the phone to boot to the OS. And now that is done, we could now flash the app install the app onto our phone as well. So as of now, the kernel has been flashed in the backend, but we need an app in the front end as well to manage the kernel. So let's install that app, download, and the kernel SU Next app. Simply install the APK file. Now launch it and let's verify what happened this time around. As you could see, it's now working. So the module is now working and it supports the SUSFS as well. So let's proceed ahead and flash the module. So your next course of action is to, just give me a second, over here you have to now download the SUSFS module from this link. So go to this link, download the zip file of SUSFS. Once that is done, transfer the zip file onto your phone. Then open the kernel SU Next tab, go to modules, tap on install, and choose the SUSFS module, which is this one, kernel SUSFS module. Tap on OK. It will now be flashed onto your phone and will take a few seconds. So once that is done, tap on reboot, and your phone will now reboot to the OS, and with this the SUSFS module will be installed. And likewise, the routing stands complete. Just we will have to customize the SUSFS based on our requirement. So I'll show you that as well. Let's wait for the phone to boot to the OS, which will take a few more seconds, and then we'll first verify if the module has been flashed or not, and then we will proceed ahead and do the rest of the steps. So just wait for a few more seconds, and then we will verify the result of flashing and then customize the SUSFS module. So our phone should now boot to the OS in a few more seconds, and once that happens, we will then launch the module as well, the SUSFS module. So this is the boot animation, and the phone should now boot to the OS. It's taking somewhat longer, but that is completely normal because that usually happens when you make some changes to the kernel. It's not a cause of concern. And now you have to launch the kernel SU Next module app. Launch it, go to the module section, and you should now see the status of checkmark next to SUS, which signifies it's working. So now tap on open, and you could now customize it as per the requirement. Likewise, you could also go to the custom SUSF settings, and from here you may enable or turn off the required toggle. Regarding this, I have given a link, so you should first have a look at the settings. So just give me a minute. Okay, it should be here only. Go to this SUSFS link on GitHub, and from here this is the custom settings of the module. You may now have a look at all of these tweaks. For example, the first one is the hide custom ROM. Hide custom ROM, then we have the hide vendor SE policy, and then hide compact matrix spoof service leak. Then we have the hide GApps. The second one is the hide GApps. Then the hide revans, which is the third one. Then the spoof CMD line. Then the hide KSU loops, and then force hide as a spoof mount. Apart from that, it also has a few manual tweaks. For example, the manual custom SUS path for both the, you could load it from here and then make it search. Likewise, do the same from here as well, but it's highly advise that you don't use the manual path, only go with the automatic, because manual is quite risky and it might lead to a soft break or a boot loop phone. So please don't use these manual settings. It's recommended to go with the automatic only. So don't do a manual mount from here. It's not recommended. Instead, have a look at all of these settings from here and then do the one which correspond to your need. For example, in the custom ROM hide settings, you have the hide custom ROM, hide vendor policy, hide compact matrix and spoof service list. These are all the part of first one, which is the hide custom ROM. Then you had the hide GApps, hide Revance. So I don't have a GApp, so it's not required. Revance also, I'm not using any YouTube Revance app, so I should skip that as well. Then the spoof CMD line, if required, if you're using a CMD line or the Termux app for making any changes to the system app, you may enable this toggle. Then the hide KSU loop, the kernel issue loops, you may enable this as well. Force hide LS port. Currently I'm not using any LS port module, so I will not use this tweak. So guys, on that note, we round up this video. If you have any query with regard to any of the steps, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.